Welcome back to A to Z. Final segment here on the show on Locked On Sports Atlanta, free on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Search Locked On Sports Atlanta. Make sure you check out all the shows right here on the Locked On Sports Network. This is A to Z. You have Hitting Hard with John Chuckery, ATL Day Ones with Jarvis Davis and Tanisha Batiste. And, of course, our Braves postcast. Check it out tonight right after the Braves game as well. Locked On Falcons, Locked On Hawks, all of it right here. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got over 2,000 subscribers and growing. We appreciate the love and the support, and thank you guys for being part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. All right, before we get to Alex Anthopoulos, let's hand out a shovel of wisdom.
Brace yourselves, because it's time for the shovel of wisdom.
And you know how we do it every day. We love to hit somebody right upside the head and set them straight with a shovel of wisdom. You can do so as well on my Twitter account at Mark Zinno. Just use the hashtag shovel of wisdom. And today my shovel goes to parents naming their babies. I always love this list when it comes out every year. The most unpopular baby names, popular and unpopular baby names. I don't know why. I'm fascinated by it, but I am. You find out here that the 2022 unpopular names are here, and this is using data from Baby Name UK and Google Trends for their research, and most experts revealed which names are the most unpopular this year. Topping the list on the girls' side, Angela, which has been declining since the 90s apparently, and Kobe, sharing the moniker of a place in Japan, also, Bryant. Next on the girls' side were Kimberly, Alexa, Jeffrey, and Nigel. Yeah. Okay, that's one way to go about it. On the guys' side, other names that were unpopular were Stuart, Chad, Gary, and Bill. And Ashton and Graham also made the list. Good. Sorry, Ashton Kutcher. Not a fan. All right. I don't know. Those are the unpopular names. So if you have that name, you're unpopular. But particularly Chad is always funny to me. My stepson likes to call me a Chad all the time. I think it's an insult. It feels like an insult, but whatever. Kids these days. What do you want to do? All right. Let's get to the trade deadlines. And Jayston Stark every year, who's the best baseball writer out there for my money, says 5 things we learned at the trade deadline. And he went on in his column to absolutely applaud the Atlanta Braves. Let me give you the other 5 things, the other 4 things he says. He says, get ready for Anthopoulos, obviously. He said the Padres are the Yankees of winning the trade deadline after all they did this year. It's winning time in Seattle, and a new postseason format shook things up. Obviously, well, again, you have an extra team making the playoffs, so there were a lot more teams involved one way or another. But what they wrote about the Braves, that he said the Braves are becoming a behemoth. And 40-15 since the start of June 1st, best record in baseball. And has the Rookie of the Year in either Michael Harris or Spencer Strider, one or the other. But at the deadline, Raciel Iglesias, Jake Odorizzi, Robbie Grossman, and Erhi Adrianza all back or all in a Braves uniform. But he said more than anything that the Braves signing of Austin Riley to a 10-year, $212 million extension. He writes, quote, this little entry in the transactions column has been the talk of baseball, non-Juan Soto division, but not merely because it's the largest contract in Braves history, because now the Braves have locked up Austin Riley, Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna, and Albies with 4 extensions that are way below potential market value. Again, Olson got 8 years, $168 million through 2030. That counts a club option. Acuna got 8 years, $100 million through 2028. That includes 2 club options. And Albies got 3 years, $35 million through 2027, and 2 club options. Somebody said it's their version of the Core 4. Now, you may not know who the Core 4 is, but I do because I'm a Yankee fan. The Core 4 referring to the New York Yankees and what they built with Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, Andy Pettitte, and Jorge Posada. And I think that is high praise more than anything, just simply because when you get a cornerstone of players on a team like that, that really you can win a lot. Now, he says, look, they might not win as much as the Yankees did because the game is different now than it was when the Yankees were doing it. But this is how you build a window. And, oh, by the way, along with those core 4, still under team control. Kyle Wright, Max Fried for a little bit longer, but Kyle Wright, Spencer Strider, Michael Harris. I mean, you just Alex Anthopoulos has built a machine here, and one that Braves fans should be so happy with. Again, the battery right now is printing money. Winning the World Series was absolutely the best thing for Alex, and the thing that makes his job the easiest right now is his ability to just be able to do this stuff. Now, when I say this stuff, you talk about in the neighborhood of saving, huge money. And Jayston Stark sat down with NHL execs, talk about the Braves saving hundreds of millions of dollars. You're saving $30 million a year probably, or 30 something million on the Austin Riley contract, saving 100 million on Acuna. Comparatively speaking, another 25, 30 million on Ozzy Albies. They wrote one of the agents said to Jayston Stark that Acuna they stole, Albies even worse, and Riley they stole. I mean that's high praise for Alex Anthopoulos, given there is so much money being thrown around in baseball right now. He asked, how did the team get the discounts? He says, one of the executives I spoke to with the team told me others have done research on which franchises had the most success at signing players to under market deals. Leaders in the clubhouse until recently have been the Diamondbacks because of spring training and the Padres because San Diego, but now the Braves have joined that band. Quote, a lot of players play baseball. A lot of baseball players are from the Southeast and they all want to play for the Atlanta Braves. So I think that's a good start for Alex, but it really is remarkable what he's been able to do with this team and this franchise, and has set them up for such success. And Braves fans should be ecstatic about where this organization is and how competitive they're going to be, staying healthy, given what they have going forward. I mean, every year the Braves are going to be one of the top 2 to 5 teams that are favored to win the World Series, and they should, because what has been built here is nothing short of perfection. Like I said it yesterday in the show, I want GMs who are super aggressive to be rewarded. And Alex Anthopoulos is at the top of that list. Forget baseball. He might be one of the most aggressive GMs in all of professional sports. And he has done it the way he's needed to do it. And he hasn't done it, trust me, without constraint, right? For the first couple of years here, he had his hands tied. The Braves were handing out 2 and 3 year contracts to everybody until Alex got here. And they were doing that for the first year or two that he was here, until he finally got them to take the training wheels off. And now we can hand out 8 and 10 year deals at massive numbers and go out and win multiple World Series. All right, that'll do it for us today here on A to Z. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. We got football back coming up next week, full bore. We didn't even get to the football game last night as the Raiders beat the Jaguars, but obviously we'll get into it next week. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for making A to Z your first listen. Make Hitting Hard with John Chuckery your next listen right here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Have a great weekend. Don't take the crap from anybody. See ya.